I want to run a quick experiment. I am going to say the word yawn. Just hearing it or visualizing the act of opening your mouth and taking a deep breath might be enough to trigger an involuntary biological reflex right now. For a long time, the consensus on this reflex was simple. A wide jaw was framed as a sign of boredom, or a physiological gasp for a depleted supply of oxygen. This chart compares the reflex rate in standard room air against an environment of 100% pure oxygen. If the reflex was driven by a need for air, the behavior should stop in an oxygen-rich environment. Instead, the frequency remains exactly the same. We can track this behavior even earlier in human development. By the second trimester, before their lungs process a single breath of air, a human fetus slowly opens its jaw to perform this exact physical stretch. The biological function operates completely independent of your respiratory gas exchange. Treating it as a simple plea for air ignores the actual mechanical purpose of our physiological hardware. You actually see this reflex peak during major state changes, the moments your body is shifting from one operating mode to another, often in high-stress environments. Olympic athletes frequently perform this deep stretch right before the starting gun. They aren't exhausted. Their nervous system is actively preparing for an intense physical load and demanding immediate focus. Dogs exhibit similar behavior when sitting in stressful environments, like the vet's office. They use the physical action as a calming signal to manage their internal energy and show they are not a threat. The reflex acts as a biological alarm clock. Your body uses it to signal that a major operational shift is about to happen, and your internal systems need to prepare. To understand why that preparation is necessary, we have to look inside the skull. The leading scientific model identifies this entire process as a high-tech thermoregulation system. Under cognitive fatigue, attention drops and metabolic heat steadily rises. Dropping that temperature requires mechanical force. Opening the temporal mandibular joint generates 150 newtons of kinetic energy, flexing the maxillary sinus. This biological bellows pulls cool air to vent excess heat. Like any high-performance processor, a larger, more complex computer requires a longer venting cycle to successfully drop its internal temperature back to a stable state. This scatter plot maps physical duration against brain mass across various mammal species, proving this thermal theory. The physical duration of the action scales directly with the mass of its brain. The larger the neural network, the longer the required cooling phase. The length and intensity of the movement are precise, calculated responses, engineered to vent thermal energy away from your cognitive hardware. That deep mechanical stretch cascades far beyond the cranium, triggering maintenance protocols across several major physiological systems at once. As the facial muscles pull tight, they force open the tiny eustachian tubes in your head. This acts as a pressure valve, equalizing the internal environment of your ear with the outside air to protect your sensory input. Lower down, expanding the alveoli in your lungs triggers the release of surfactant, a biological lubricant that keeps the lung tissue flexible and efficient. Deep within the torso, the stretch stimulates the vagus nerve. This electrical signal physically drops your heart rate, forcing your entire body into a state of calm alertness. The sequence requires the final gasp to finish, a rapid exhale that mechanically resets the surface tension in your internal tissues and signals the end of the cooling cycle. Every system is checked, equalized, and restored to its optimal physical baseline in one synchronized calibration. Once the internal hardware is optimized, the behavior connects us to the people around us. Seeing someone else perform this calibration is often the direct catalyst to initiate your own. Observation activates mirror neurons, creating a neural echo that triggers a reflexive copy. Contagion heavily depends on your social barometer. You are most likely to mirror close family members, then friends, dropping rapidly as proximity widens to strangers. In the wild, a lapse in focus from a sleepy group is a lethal vulnerability. Because cooling the brain triggers a spike in heart rate and cognitive focus, this contagion acts as a mass reset. It allows a single individual's cooling reflex to trigger a wave of alertness across the entire pack, ensuring the group stays vigilant against predators, turning a simple reflex into a shared survival algorithm. Contagious empathy synchronizes the internal rhythms of the group, ensuring everyone's survival instincts operate in perfect alignment. The biological cooling mechanism is incredibly ancient, observed in aquatic creatures and reptiles for millions of years. But the empathy-driven contagion is an exclusive feature developed much later by mammals living in complex social structures. Today, artificial intelligence systems track excessive frequencies of this behavior as precise diagnostic data, actively flagging internal thermostat failures or severe sleep disruption. So the next time you feel your jaw pulling downward during a meeting or a class, stop trying to politely suppress it. Deliberately allow the physiological reflex to complete its necessary cycle. It is a brilliant biological mechanism. It seamlessly maintains our individual physiological hardware while perfectly binding us to the community around us.